Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin and this is Rideshare Buddy UK, and today I'm just doing a quick Wednesday Uber, Bolt and taxi caller shift. It's 10 to 1. I've got a little bit bored, so I thought I'd come out and do some work. And this is one of the best things about Uber and Bolt and Rideshare. Come and go when you please. If you're feeling a little bit bored and you want to go out and do something, you can come out and do some work. But I've spent this morning making up some of these little magnetic signs saying push. I've just printed them out on the computer. I then put them in laminated them and cut them up, and I cut up one of the old mag mounts and stuck them on with glue, and I think them holding up okay. We'll see what happens. But that's for the car door. Now, if you've ever had the Ioniq 5, I don't know if the Ioniq 6 is the same, I don't know, but it's really weird to get in and open up the door from outside, and it is quite good fun sometimes watching people trying to get in the car. A number of times, well, quite often, I have to get out and actually open up the door for them because it can be a bit awkward. So I'm hoping these signs are going to help show where to push. So let's pop out and have a look. Right, that's the outdoor handle. That's the one at the back, exactly the same. What you have to do is you push there, the handle pops out, and you open the door that way. But if you've never done it before, you don't know. So I'm putting these on to hopefully help people do that. Right, hopefully that will help them. Will that work or not? I don't know. We'll wait and see. So let's have a look at some of the stats that we've got on the car at the moment. Okay, so we've got 59% battery, 145 miles. You can see that my economy has gone down to 3.7 from about 4.2, mainly because I've got the heater on so much. A bit of that's been spoilt because I picked up a woman from Bristol the other day and took her to Tenby. It was a hotel pickup. When was it? Saturday, I think it was. And she really felt the cold, and I had to turn the temperature up to 24 degrees and had the fan on about 7. So that's really killed my fuel economy, because it knocked about 60, 70 miles off the range. So I don't want that to happen too often. I'll just have to hand out socks and gloves and hats when people get in the car if they get too cold. I think 20 degrees is quite a happy medium. That's what I put it on at normally, 20 degrees, and only about 2 or 3 fan. That keeps the car nice and comfortable, not too hot, not too cold. So it is about 2 minutes to 1, 59%. I should be able to get a few jobs done in on that without charging up, but that will take me to late afternoon, and I find late afternoon is the time we have real issues about charging up. A lot of people start charging up, then you've got all your sales reps, people going to work or going home from work and stuff like that. So let's have a quick look on the no, I don't want that one. Newport, Malpass. Yeah, so all pumps are free in Malpass at the moment. So I think I'm going to go over and charge up to 80%. It's a 20% charge, but that will mean I'll be able to complete the day without any worries. So let's head off to Malpass. Today's shift, I'll pretty much try and record everything that I have to do regarding the car and the EV and that. And then you can actually see what the situations are like driving an EV as a taxi, the good and the bad. But I had a email through from the BP Uber offer, so that's been extended until August 2025. So pretty much all through most of next year, those BP offers of 49p kilowatt charging stays in place. If you've got if you've got a 7 kilowatt charger close by, a destination charger, then that's 27 pence. But you'd have to plug in overnight to get a full charge on that. So not a great use to rideshare drivers. As I say, let's head off to Melbourne.
There's a knock at the door, but don't freeze in your tracks. It's that chance that you've been waiting for. It's the light coming through the cracks. When life shows an open.
Okay, so we're here. The temperature is currently 11 degrees C, and the charge rate is coming in at what? 37, and it's saying 31 minutes to an 80% charge, and that's really only 22% charge. So not fantastic, but there we go. That's the way it is with EVs in the winter. Okay, so while I'm charging, quick question. Just leave a thing in the comments. At the moment, I upload in 720 definition, HD definition. Which I think is perfectly suitable for most people, because I know most of the drivers will watch this on their mobile phone. 720 is perfectly suitable. But I did watch a couple of my videos on my new TV. We now have a 55-inch screen, which is pretty big. We don't watch a lot of TV, so we don't really bother with TVs. But we did invest in one because it was quite cheap down at Tesco's, and it is quite blurry on a big screen. Now, I know 7% of people who watch my videos, according to YouTube, watch on TVs. So I'm thinking, is it time to go up to 1080? I'm not going to go to 4K. I haven't got the time to mess around with 4K editing and stuff like that. But if you think you'd prefer 1080 over 720, let me know in the comments, and I'll look into the ability of me doing some editing in 1080 and change the phone storage and the phone definition and stuff like that up to 1080. But don't ask for 4K. I'm not going to go 4K. Too ugly for that. So that's it. The other thing I'm going to be doing is going to really start promoting local work now for the Taxi Caller app. Remember, Taxi Caller is not an Uber or a Bolt. You have to go out and get your own work and get people to use the app, and then they can book with you personally. So what I might do next week video, I might do a walkthrough of using AI to make Facebook ads and Facebook posts. Because I play about with it quite a lot. Some of my ads are all AI based. Everything is done through AI, and I can do an ad in 5 minutes. So we might do that as a video, as a tutorial video, for all of you who are thinking of going it alone and want to have a little bit of help in how to design pretty effective ads, especially if English isn't your first language. You can do it. There are AI tools out there to help you with photographs and text and designing ads, and they tend to be quite effective and quite good ads. So I'll do that next week. I'll do a walk along. You can watch me as I make an ad, a Facebook ad, in 5 minutes or less. So I don't know what to talk about for 30 minutes. What it means is that I came out at 10 to 1 when I first started my shift, but by the time I've got to the charger and charged up, it's now 1:15. It's going to be 1:45, so it's taking me, well, it will take me 55 minutes, well, 50 minutes from starting shift to being in a position to take my first job. You have to allow an extra hour a day in an EV if you don't have home charging. before you even start work, or you work an extra hour longer. So you're always dividing the amount of money you take by an extra hour to get your true earnings and per hour earnings. And it does have a bit of an impact on it. But that's it. Let's get charged up. Then we'll switch on. I'm going to use Uber Bolt. Now I'm going to use Bolt Comfort, Uber Priority, Uber Comfort, and I'm going to try and get out into Cardiff, because there's no Comfort in Newport. It's only in Cardiff. Why it's not in Newport, I don't know. Newport has the only 5-star hotel in all of Wales in the Celtic Manor Resort. Only 5-star hotel, and they can't book an Uber Comfort. Crazy. And it's also got the International Convention Centre for Wales in Newport at the Celtic Manor Resort. Again, you've got all of these delegates coming in, important business people, important commercial customers, and again, they can't get a comfort level taxi in Newport if they book for Uber. So this is why I think there's going to be a good opportunity for me to get established on my own using the Taxi Caller app, because I can offer electric comfort. Nobody else does. So if people book with me, they'll get an electric comfort car, and I think that's going to be quite a good thing. Okay, so that's it. We've charged up to 80%, 220 miles, 22 miles on the clock. The time is 1:40, so 50 minutes into the shift, and we're ready to take our first job. So let's get unplugged and get the app started. Right, so that charge took 29 minutes 37 seconds. You're now at 1:41. Let's go online on Bolt. Let's go online. I'll set my preferences to priority and comfort. And let's go online on Uber. Let's start work.
Looking for a reason, driven by the heart, fighting for a season, with sadness fall apart. Tell me not to worry, tell me to be strong, be my true reminder of where my love belongs. We'll be cutting edge, make a brand new sketch. Fire in the heart, flipping hearts around. We'll be changing all that's wrong. And baby, hold on, bring it on. We'll be running the show, bring it on.
Right, it's 5:45. So about 5 hours I've been out. I started shift at 10 to 1. So it's 10 to 6. 5 hours. I've done £70. £70.37. So that what works out at £14 an hour, thereabouts. Take off 40% running costs. So I'm earning £8 an hour today. That's what my profit is. I mean, obviously that first 50 minutes I wasn't earning, but it's still got to be paid for. It's part of work time, so it needs to be paid for. And that's what brings you saying that. I don't think I'd have made minimum wage even without that hour. So not great today. I'm going to head off back to Newport. I'm in Cardiff at the moment. Too much traffic now in Cardiff. So I'm going to head back to McDonald's at the Asda, go to the loo, have a hot chocolate, and maybe do another hour, maybe an hour and a half. Let's see what it's like once we get back down there. But 5 hours, £70.37. You just can't make money on Uber anymore. They've just squeezed it so much. Even some of those search jobs I've done, they weren't search prices. I had the symbol, but that's all Uber are doing now. They're giving out the same prices and then just sticking on a search symbol to make you feel good. Yeah. Got to get my own going. Got to get this taxi caller working. Right, stats wise, I've got 53%. So if I hadn't done that 22% charge up, I'd be running at about 30% now, and probably wanted to go to drive to charge up 134 miles on the clock. And I've just checked the apps. Both of BP are busy. Late afternoon, rush hour, it always fills up. And there's only 2 Tesla slots. So if I hadn't have charged up earlier, I'd have had to be probably heading out towards Ioniq at Mega again. Very long way to go to charge up, but still cheaper than charging up at somewhere like Sainsbury's or Esso, so Shell, or any of the other chargers. So it's still worth going over to Ioniq at Mega, because you're saving yourself £20 on a charge by going that way. Right, there we go. McDonald's hot chocolate, 147 calories of pure delight. So am I going to work later or later on? I might do another hour after I've had a drink. Not too sure. It is busy, but there's no money being paid, so, or not worth it going and doing the job, so it's hardly worth sitting out. Which brings me up, you know, this £8 an hour malarkey is not good. And this ability for Uber to get away with active time rather than logged on time needs to come to an end. So I'm not a great one for regulations. I think people should be free to earn and work when they like, how they like, and earn money. But Uber is exploitative. It really is exploitative. It's not so much the amount that they take, it's just that they operate really severe, draconian, predatory pricing to knock out the competition. And because their pricing is so far below the going rate, or what should be the going rate, that gets passed on to drivers, and drivers end up in poverty. So I think there's time for the government to act. Now, how they can do that, I don't know. I know Hackney carriage fares are regulated. Maybe the time has come for private hire fares to become regulated to stop this predatory pricing pushed to the bottom, which inevitably lends to drivers paying the price for that and being pushed into poverty. That's one way of doing it, and probably is the best way of doing it. And that way, taxi companies and private hire companies can compete for the drivers based on their levels of commission. So that's one way. I think probably the best way is regulation of private hire fares. So there's a bottom below which they're not permitted to go. If they want to go above, for say, if they're running executive cars, they can go above. But there's got to be a floor at which the government steps in and says no lower than this. So that's probably the best way. The only other way to do it is to ensure that drivers get paid minimum wage for logged on time, not just active time, but logged on time. Then, of course, Uber says, yeah, but they can go from work anywhere else. In which case, if you're going to go that route, is drivers can only work for one company. Now, that's easily dealt with the Inland Revenue, because the tax people look after low pay and minimum wages. They also look after the tax, and all online taxi companies now have to submit driver details to the taxman. So the taxman will know whether or not you're playing two sides or working for 2 or 3 different companies. And if they make it illegal, then you can get taken to court and lose your license or something like that. So that's one way of doing it, is to bring minimum wages in. But I think the easiest way and the quickest way and the fairest way is to stop this predatory pricing and to introduce a minimum floor for fares. Now, whether that's a national one or a regional one, or whether local councils can set their minimum floor for fares the way that they do with hackney carriages, I don't know. It could be the way forward to give local licensing authorities the ability to set minimum fare levels below which companies can't go. But of course, then you're going to get people like Uber, who have got operators' licenses all over the country, saying, well, this job's going through this licensing authority, which has a lower fare rating than this local authority. So that's not going to be done. It's going to have to be done on a national basis. So the government steps in and say, no, you cannot charge passengers less than £2 a mile or £2.50 a mile or whatever it's going to be. And that then means Uber can't predatory price and pass that cost onto the driver by paying £6, £7, £8 an hour for the drivers. That's my view. I think the time has come now for that to come to an end. The way that Uber operates, it has to come to an end in the UK. This is the 21st century. It's the UK. It's a first world nation. We should not be having drivers going out earning £7, £8 an hour after today's shift, after taking expenses away. You've got to stop it. Uber has to be brought to book. How it's done, I don't know. I just think maybe that minimum fare level is probably the best way to achieve it. We have a new government. We have a Labour government. The nepotism of Uber and the Tory party is over. Their personal connection straight into David Cameron and the higher echelons of the Tory party and government is over. Uber don't have the power that they used to have. It's time for Labour to take control and give drivers a little bit of respite from the way Uber operates. But that's my rant of the day over, and I haven't even had a sip of hot chocolate yet. So once I do this, we'll go into Bolt, see what's happening in Bolt, and then we maybe do a bit more Uber. Uber priority. I'm not going back into Cardiff tonight. I'll hang around Newport, do Uber priority only, and then Bolt. And then tomorrow we'll start doing some advertising on Taxi Caller. Get these backseat signs in, saying if you like the ride, you can find me on Taxi Caller. So let's get that started tomorrow. Oh yeah, those little stickers, those little magnets I did this morning, seems to be working. A couple of passengers had to fiddle around, but they saw the sign and pressed the button. And I haven't had to get out the car once today to open the door for people. So they do seem to be working. It's a bit like trying to break into an escape room when you try and break into this taxi. Trying to find a way of opening the door handles, but it's done now. So tomorrow, Bolt has a bonus thing on. Complete 5 trips to receive £18 bonus. So that's between 12 noon and 4 o'clock. Won't be able to do that in Newport because they don't have enough work in Newport to be able to do it. But I could do that in Cardiff if I went into Cardiff tomorrow, Thursday tomorrow. Could be worth going to Cardiff tomorrow. I won't do it on Friday. Just way too much traffic on a Friday to do it. Yeah, tomorrow I might head into Cardiff at 12 till 4. 4 hours to do 5 trips in Bolt for £18 extra. Take a look at that. I don't think I've got anything on in Uber. I mean, to do that means I'll have to switch Uber off and just work Bolt tomorrow in Cardiff if I do. Let's see if there's any trips going, bonuses. I don't think so. We've just had confirmation about BP Pulse offer our free Pulse membership and 49p kilowatt hour just come through on a weekly update. So that's until August next year. There's bonuses and promotions, opportunities. Promotions, nothing. Reservations, nothing. No, nothing at all off Uber. What's on tonight? Cardiff. We have the Bootleg Beatles. Expecting it to be busy between 10:30, 11:30, but I'll be tucked up in bed by then. Tomorrow, Human League, Sophie Ellis Bextor and the Pow. So that's the same. Saturday, we've got Cardiff playing football. We got Bridgend. Championship Cardiff versus Watford on Saturday. So that's an evening match or afternoon match. Stay away from Cardiff Saturday afternoon. Crazy. And that's about all there is. Not a lot coming out of Uber. But that bonus from Bolt looks interesting. Right, that's it. Remember, I've had a half-hour break. I've got priority pickup. 0.8 miles away. As soon as I switched on it, that came up. So £11 going about 3 miles or something like that.
Think about me because I'm starting to doubt we will find a way back to each other when you're on the other side of the world. I'm here and I'm waiting, but I know I can't say that we've been at it for good reason. Still I'm hoping we'll be meeting soon. Everybody needs some time to figure themselves out. But I want you close, and I still have hope. I'm waiting every day for you to come back and tell me we can work it out, forget about the past. Now time I still have hope. I'm waiting every day for you to come back and tell me we can work it out, forget about the past. Now time moves slow. I'm not high or low, no, I'm somewhere in the middle and a little bit messed up. 'Cause without you everything stops. Without you everything stops.
Right, that's it. It's 5 to 8. Started at 10 to 1. So that's 7 hours. Had half an hour break, so 6.5 hours work. And I've made £102. 102.77. So minus 40% for costs. Let's call that £40. That's £62.77 for just over 6.5 hours work. Well less than minimum wage, and nothing at all to spare to put aside for what I should have in holiday pay, and also a little bit set aside for sick pay. But that's Uber now in 2024. It's only going to get worse. Uber will try and push it down. I did say at the start of the year when I gave my predictions that this year Uber and the algorithm and the AI will aim to get drivers down to minimum wage active time. Not online time, but active time. And I've shown that that does happen. A few months ago, well, a couple of months ago now, I think, I did do a short which showed that I had a national minimum wage top up for one of the weeks, because that's the way the AI is going. Uber does not want to pay the drivers more than national minimum wage active time, and because of that, if you take into account logged on time and online time, you're way below minimum wage, which is why I think now the time has come for legislation to come in and deal with Uber. It's gone beyond the joke now, it really has. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Hope you enjoyed watching me go into deep depression and poverty. Hope you do better than I do. Until next time, thanks for watching, and safe driving.